Greetings, every one of you. We have Rotarian Rupen-Doshi, the CEO at Future Tech India from Mumbai, is joined today. It's a great occasion, one of the great learning days of ASBM Adithya School of Business Management. We have such an eminent personality with us. He's going to share the experience of himself, and that's going to nurture your career future as budding managers. On behalf of our management, I would like to register my greetings to you, Rotarian Mr. Ruben, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation. And once again, I welcome you, sir. Let me leave it to the students to handle the session from now.
Thank you for having me.
Greeting everyone. Welcome to ASBM Lead Talks, inaugural ASBM CEO Meet 2023, organized by Adithya School of Business Management. In this auspicious day, I feel enlightened to extend my warm welcome to everyone. I cordially welcome our Chairman, Engineer C. Sukumaran sir, our Managing Trustee, Praveen Kumar sir, and our Corporate Gentleman, Director and Head, Dr. N. Sundarapandian sir, and our eminent guest, Mr. Rupen-Doshi. Before we begin, joining with us today is a man of simplicity. Mr. Rupen-Doshi is a global advisory for enabling firms in sustainable finance design and development, climate strategy, ESG, and climate risk analysis. We are really happy to have you, sir. Without much delay, I request our team members who strive for consistent learning to start the session. Thank you.
Yes, so before we start the question, as I requested earlier, would like to hear a little note about Rotarian Mr. Rupen-Doshi sir on his own self-introduction, so that you can start your questions further up.
Thank you very much for having me here, Dr. Sundara and my dear students. I am Rupen-Doshi. So there is a word Rotarian prefix to my name. So sometimes it gets confusing whether you should call me Rotarian or Mr. It doesn't matter. Rotarian is because I'm a member of the Rotary Club and a part of the Rotary movement. Rotary International, as you all know, is the world's largest NGO. And I'm a very proud Rotarian at that, because we've done a lot of good work all over the world, particularly in India. So I'll very quickly tell you about myself. So I'm a Mumbaikar all the way, born and brought up in Bombay, and having spent most of my life over here, both student and corporate life. I studied at the St. Mary's School, at the Elphinstone College, then the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Then I did marketing. I studied marketing from Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies. I did 2 years of law at the KC Law College. And then I joined IBM. I worked with IBM for a year. Then I shifted to Hewlett-Packard. I worked with Hewlett-Packard for about 6 years. Then the entrepreneurial bug bit me, and I decided to start shop of my own. And I became an HP dealer. So HP, as you probably know, Hewlett-Packard is probably one of the world's best managed companies. And we used to have something called the HP Way. So they encouraged people to set up their own businesses, and they supported them. So I did that. I ran an HP dealership for about 4 years or so. And then I decided to get out of computers and the hardware business. And I started my own executive search and training company. So I've been doing this for the last 25 years now. My wife is a partner with me. I had another partner who then separated ways somewhere down the line. And this particular journey has enabled me to deal with corporates at all levels, not just the C-suite, but at all levels very, very closely. Because unlike what most people feel, that a recruitment consultant is an outsider, actually we have to work very, very closely with the company, understand their needs, their business, their journey, their pain points, and then come up with solutions in terms of people and getting them the right people. So recruitment, as you know, is an industry by itself, and executive search is specialized recruitment per se. So I've been doing this for a few years now. And we not only deal with corporates, but we also deal with SMEs. I think you probably know that 80% of the business in the country is done by SMEs. And SMEs are a very, very vital cog in the economy. And we work closely with a few SME owners to help them better their businesses. And let me tell you, it's a very, very rewarding and satisfying journey for 2 reasons. One is that I deal with people. We don't deal with bricks and walls and computers. We don't deal with that. we deal with people, right? Human resources deals with people. So that's what makes it very interesting. Secondly, when you are in the recruitment business and you're talking about jobs, people's lives depend on their jobs. So people will, their personal aspirations are linked to their financial goals, which is linked to their work, which is linked to their career. So this profession has enabled me to get into deep into the lives of people, which has been extremely enriching, primarily because everybody is different, everybody is unique, and there is something to learn from everybody. So as far as my qualifications are concerned, I forgot to tell you one qualification of mine, which I think is the most important. I have SLFL, SLFL degree. What is SLFL? Student for life, learning for life. That's my degree. And I think that's the most valuable degree that I have had. And with that, I end my introduction. And once again, thank you for having me here.
Great, sir. You have come across that journey. I think it's going to give them a lot of insights from your sharing today. Yeah. Let's start with the question.
Greetings, sir. This is Akash Mitchell. How do you spend a typical day in your life, sir?
Well, I have spent many decades in the profession. So now my typical day may be slightly different from what a typical corporate guy's life would be, right? After so many years of experience and having worked very closely with multiple of people, it's a little different. But nevertheless, since you asked the question, I will tell you. So every day has to be meaningful and satisfying. You may do nothing, but at the end of the day, if you have planned to do nothing, then you better do it well. So there are some days where I'm sitting in Bombay, I'm not even traveling. Okay, if you go to the beach and you do nothing, I can understand. But even you're sitting at home and you plan to do nothing, do that nothing well. So that's the basic underlying rule that I apply for myself. My day starts a little early in the morning. I wake up at 5 every day and I do a little bit of yoga and stretching and stuff. And then between 6:30 and quarter to 7, I take my dog out for a walk. So I have a 5-year-old Indie called Coco, and he's a very strong and robust dog, and he needs to, actually run 4-5 kilometers every day. So that gives me a chance to do that. So I spend about an hour with him, on that run. So there are many hills where I stay, so that we go up the hill and, all of that, the slopes. So that takes care of my cardio exercise also. So I do that for about an hour, then I come back and have your normal juice and all of that. And then I read the newspapers, primarily Economic Times. I'll read general news, not just about the stock market. Because I have seen in reading, the very valuable thing about reading is that if you read subjects that you don't like or subjects that you're not interested in, you will get knowledge that you never ever imagined you will get. So that's a huge, huge thing, advantage with reading. So I tend to read 20-25% of my reading time goes in reading subjects that I don't like. Like, for instance, I don't like to read about politics. Okay, because it's the same thing every day. That's what I feel. But nevertheless, I try and read, a little bit about politics, simply because one needs to know, one needs to be in touch, and you never know where an idea can strike. So I do that for about an hour or so, and then it's of course off to office. So I get ready, have breakfast with my family. So breakfast in my house is about 30 minutes. Even if there's one thing to eat only, we still spend 30 minutes because me, my wife and daughter, we discuss the day, we discuss yesterday, what are we planning to do today, and those kind of things. So that family time is very, very precious for me. And I don't answer the mobile phone or anything at all when I'm having breakfast. So that's your, that's your time that you spend with your loved ones. That gives you very, very great sense of belonging and satisfaction. So after breakfast, of course, luckily I stay very close by. In Bombay, you know how distances are. But I just stay 10-15 minutes away, depending on the traffic. So I reach office, and then as soon as I reach office, I get cracking. So I'll check my emails and WhatsApp messages first, see if anything is urgent and needs replying to. And by and large, when I'm driving to office, the 10 minutes or so, I'm planning my day. These are the clients that I'll call. This is what I need to do with the staff. Very broadly in the head, I'm planning my day. What generally happens with the plan is that the moment you reach office, there is some fire somewhere and your plan goes for a toss. So you're not able to follow, right? The priority that you have set for yourself, you're not able to follow. So the other thing which I do, then I write down the priorities. Okay, then I number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So today I need to do these 7 things. First is most important, second is third, fourth, fifth, that kind of a. Then, of course, a little bit of meeting with the staff, figure out what the plan is for the day, what are the burning problems, where I need to intervene and all of that. And then the whole thing starts because I do business development and client interaction for my company. So then again, that means I talk a lot to people. So when I talk to people, the beauty of my business is that I get to listen a lot. And I have seen that in communication, listening is the more important part. Listening is 70% of communication. 30% is speaking and talking. Okay, so I'm a marketing guy by profession and I'm in human resources now for the last 25 years. So one would think that talking is my bread and butter. But communication is my bread and butter. And in communication, listening is 70%. So then the day starts, in office, you know how things are in office. There will be problems that can't be solved, and there'll be an irate customer, and your employee will have a problem, and everybody will have a problem. So your problem solving or troubleshooting, I try and spend about 30-40 minutes every day on some development work. So our website is not proper. We need to fix this. We need to build another PPT for our clients. We need to spend some energy in developing some other link somewhere else. So that development work, which is not linked to the day-to-day transactional part of the business, but it will lead to growth in future is what I do. Then towards the end of the day, which is about around 5-6 o'clock or so, depending on what time I'm able to finish the work, I'll take up my Rotary work. So Rotary, as you know, is a service organization and we serve the community. So in a country like India, there's so many poor people and there's so much of work to be done. So I'm fairly actively involved in Rotary, and if there's a project to be passed, if some funds have to be raised, so I spend about an hour or so in doing that. And around 7:30, I wind up, reach home by about 8 o'clock, play with my dog for some time, and then straight away have dinner. Then of course answer the phones if there are any missed calls, make those phone calls, talk to a friend. So another thing which I have which I have developed and I must share with you, which has stood me in good stead forever. Ever since I was your age and in college, I have had this practice of making a phone call to one friend every day. So let's say I have 30 people who I know and like and I like to speak to. I will make one phone. So today I'll make a call to Balchandran, tomorrow I'll make a call to Manjula, then I'll make a call to John, then to Akash, then to Kirtika, then to Logarajan, then talk to Sundar. Every day I will make a phone call to one person who I know. So in 30 days, I have covered those 30 people who I like to talk to and I want to talk to. Okay. Then again, after 30 days, I'll again make that phone call. And actually the list keeps expanding. And then there'll be 60, 70 people and all that. So every 2-3 months, you are in touch with the people who you want to be in touch with. By just one simple phone call, 10-15 minutes of conversation, can be only 1 minute of conversation. Hi, how are you? Oh no, my mom is not well. Okay, fine. Take care, bye. That's enough. But that concern that you show and that connect that you maintain, I think has stood me in very good stead. So that, as luck would have it, turned out to be better than any investment I made in the stock market. My investment in people. So now I feel that I'm able to use it for the community. Okay, if I want business, okay, now we're at a stage in life where we don't need business, right? Business comes on its own. But if I need, let's say, 20 lakh rupees donation for some school project or some village project that we're doing, is these for 30, 40, 70, 80 people that I rang up and I kept in touch with over the years, who now trust me, you trust them completely, who will help. So if I need 20 lakh rupees and I talk to 5-10 people, each will pay 1-2 lakh rupees and we will meet that 20 lakh target. So I can tell you with full confidence that that is the best investment I've ever made in my life, in people, and by genuinely caring for them, not just being selfish that, hey, this guy is well connected, so I want to be friends with him. No. I want to be friends with him because I like him and I want to be friends genuinely. So that typically is how my day is spent.
That's something I wanted to personally acknowledge here, sir. Learning to network with people. And sometimes we take advantage over our own people and ignore them. Connecting with them periodically will have that good relationship building and moving forward. That's a really good insight for us, I think, especially to me. And I think the students also could take note of it and follow that. That's something important.
So now, Dr. Sundar, now that you mention it, I would like to expand that on a little bit. So, I would like to use the word build relationship with people.
Build relationship.
Yeah, because I have seen that if you are genuinely making relationship with people, they will reciprocate. If you have an ulterior motive, they will reciprocate accordingly. But nobody is a fool, right? You have an ulterior motive, they will also have an ulterior motive. And maybe you want only 100, but they want 200 from you. Then, you will have to pay more than what you're getting. So if you are genuinely interested in people, then show interest in that direction. See, if it doesn't work out and the person doesn't respond, that's fine. That's okay. Just go ahead to the next person, right? Because you'll constantly keep finding more and more people to meet in your life, and then you keep discerning, right? You use the filter on your own. Okay, this person I like, this person I don't like. So, but the underlying clause in this is you have to be genuinely interested in. That's it.
That's a good note. Being honest with people is something
Yes.
very, very important.
Yes.
Relationship does not have any query on the relationships. You should be honest, transparent, open in your communication.
Yes.
You have to build trust. That's one of the key qualities of a great leaders in the world today. I think I'm very sure, and we are learning that from a great leader from India. Yeah, that's really good. Thank you, sir. Next question, please.
Greetings, sir. This is Manjula Devi. Can you give short note on your work-life balance, sir?
Work-life balance.
Work-life balance.
Work-life balance. Okay. So, Manjula, your question was about work-life balance. When you are in business or when you're in profession, there is no concept of work-life balance. It's work all the time. Okay. Because if a client calls me at 9 o'clock in the night or on a Saturday, Sunday, I will have to answer the call. If I get an email is not going to wait for Monday. Okay. When you're in a corporate kind of a job, you can choose that. But for me, there is no such thing as work-life balance in the real sense of the word. Okay, the way we know it. However, having said that, you have to strike a balance. If you don't strike a balance, then all work and no play made Jill a dull girl. Okay, so you will all get into corporate jobs and you're running a serious risk of actually becoming dull. Because what happens with work is that only one side of your brain, only one part of your brain is being utilized. I know it's being utilized hell of a lot, right? When you're working 8 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours kind of a thing. What about the other side of your brain? What about your other faculties? What about touch, smell, taste? What about those other things? Those senses also have to be developed. Otherwise, you're going to fall flat as an individual, as a human being. So a balance in life is very, very required, very much required. And you need to build that as an integral component of your work. Don't try and say that, okay, my work is on A, B, C, D, E, F is my work and G, H, I, J, K is my life. No, don't do that way. Make it an integral part. So in whatever you do, you be aware that, okay, beyond this, I'm not going to work. Okay, now it's time, it's 8 o'clock, it's time for me to shut off. Now it's Saturday night, it's time for me to chill. You need to switch on and you switch off. You need to do the same thing for fun also, right? So you'll have, let's say, you'll have great time on Sunday. There you partied, you had fun and all of that. Will you continue partying on Monday? No, you won't, right? As a responsible individual, you know that you have work to do. You need to be very conscious and aware of that work at its own time and has its own merit. And life, remember, work is a part of life. Okay, your life is far, far bigger and larger than your work. Work for all of us is very, very important because it's a mean towards livelihood. And livelihood means you take care of your family, you take care of your lifestyle, yeah, and all your other desires. So work therefore becomes very important, and many of us tend to lose the balance in the course of this. So work and money is very, very important. Okay, but it is not everything. It may be everything else, but it is not everything. There are other things also which you cannot forget. So you have to be conscious. To answer your question directly, you have to be very clear in your mind that if there is no switch off, after some time, a switch on will not happen. Okay, you won't be able to switch on if you haven't switched off. So you will continue thinking in the same direction. You will stagnate, your mind will be clustered, you won't get new ideas, and the slowdown will start. And then, of course, that can lead to a burnout. Okay, and burnout, as you know, has disastrous consequences. So I would hope that nobody ever goes to a level where there's a burnout, right? Because then you have to be admitted to hospital and mental depression, all those things. So you have to be very conscious, and a very, very good way of doing this, I would say, is write things down. I want to talk, I have to make a phone call to Dr. Sundar, write it down. Okay, I have to go for Kirtika's party, write it down. Okay, if you've written stuff down on a piece of paper, while looking at that paper, you yourself will know that how much of your day is work and how much of a day is fun, or week or month, whatever it is. Then you will get a sense of direction. Okay, if it's balanced, if let's say 60-70% is work and 30% is fun, then it's fine. But if it's the other way around, you have a problem. Or if it's 80-90% work, you have a problem. So, writing these small little notes in your diary is a very good thing, because it's a reflection for you. When you look at it, you're seeing a mirror, and it will tell you how to do it. So be conscious of the things that you want to do. Like, for instance, if one of the activities in your day or in your week is gymming or fitness, okay, you can't compromise on that. That's equivalent to breathing air. Can you stop breathing air? No, no. So you can't stop gymming. Or let's say food control, okay, or reading Harvard Business Review. I don't know what you guys read, but supposing something like that, make sure you read that novel, because that is your real food. Okay, the chapati and sabji that you eat is mechanical. That's just to keep your blood moving. But the real food of your mind and your growth is this reading that you do, this exchange with friends, this time in the gym or on the road walking, all of that. So that has to be built into your daily or weekly routine, and only then will you ensure your balance.
That's an outstanding answer, sir. I share the same philosophy you have. You can't separate your work from your life. That's a good statement. I wanted to actually acknowledge that. I was doing a research on talent management among the IT and ITS companies in South India. The major finding we had was there is no such thing called work-life balance practice among the employees. Because, as you know, you take out the position you have, the Rotarian you have, and who are we? And I take out my name and my work and everything out of me. Who am I actually? I'm nothing, right? So basically, we are our brand. So it comes along with our work and our background and the way we put 20-30 years down the road for our career. Everything matters. How can we say work-life balance? As you said, you can't switch off and switch on. It's not like a mechanical thing. It's really, really, I admire the way you answer. I was following the same philosophy, same thing for quite some time. I was telling students, I was thinking, am I right or wrong? The world is talking about work-life balance, but I see another person is acknowledging, the same concept. I'm really, really, I think, there is an acknowledgement for me, my words. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Next question, please.
Warm greeting, sir.
Evening.
Can you please share about your inspiration, sir?
Okay. So as you know, motivation is from within and inspiration is outside, right? So only you can motivate yourself, but your inspiration can be drawn from other people. So I have 2-3 people who I'm inspired by. Okay, one is Gandhiji. Okay, I'm a great fan and follower of Gandhiji. And because I'm his great fan and follower, I've read his books and I'm even further inspired by him. The reason being that, when you talk about success, first of all, I don't see any success story in the world in the last century which is equivalent to the freedom movement of India. A country of our size, when we got freedom, we were 300 million people. A country of our size, with the plundering that the British did with us, with the background and rich history that we have, all of that, Gandhiji got us freedom with non-violence. Another, absolutely unheard of concept in history. From Mahabharata till today, you never heard of non-violence. Okay, but Gandhiji managed that. So I am his big fan. I think he's the most successful individual who has that we know of. Okay, of course, Emperor Ashoka was also successful, and so many others before him. Maybe Jesus Christ was successful, but for somebody that we know, I think Gandhiji is the most successful individual, and I admire him for two things. One is the degree of difficulty that he got into. Imagine kicking out the British. I just unheard of, unthought of. One is the degree of difficulty. Secondly is the method. He chose the route of non-violence and ahimsa, which all of us know and all of us practice all the time, right? He never liked to fight and stuff, but he chose that and he managed success with that. So when you do stuff in life, so I'll give an example that everybody understands. Okay, so everybody praises Mukesh Ambani for what he did. Okay, for the success that he has achieved in his company, and rightly so. I agree. But tell me, if he was not Dhirubhai's son, would he have achieved this? Why can't John, or why can't Kirti, or why can't Logarajan achieve this? Because you're not Dhirubhai's son, right? You're not Dhirubhai's child. So inheritance matters a lot. And Mukesh had that lead in life over all of us because he's an Ambani. So degree of difficulty is very, very important. If you are a farmer's child and then you study hard and you take an education and you go to IIT and you get a good job and you do well for yourself in life, I think that is far, far more difficult, and I will give more points to that than an Ambani or a Birla or whatever. Okay. So I think the degree of difficulty with which Gandhiji got freedom for us was unparalleled. And secondly, the way he did it, non-violence. Okay, just simply not thinkable. Imagine if we are in 2023, can you think of non-violence? I mean, we are shouting and we are fighting and we are abusing all the time. Even your cricket teams are named warriors and fighters and devils and all that, right? Your Punjab warriors and this and that. So even our vocabulary has become like that. So that's one of the reasons why I am inspired by Gandhiji. The other which I'm inspired is by my parents. Okay, my parents came from very humble beginnings. They are from Gujarat. And of course, in those days, there was no Maharashtra state, right? It was all Bombay Presidency. So from Goa all the way up to Rajasthan was known as Bombay Presidency. So we are like natives of this city. So they came from very humble beginnings. And by sheer grit, okay, and that grit included worrying about your next meal. It included that. Because my grandparents weren't very rich. Because of course my grandfather was a doctor with the king of Rajkot. But after he retired, they had a financial problem, and they came to Bombay. So my parents, out of sheer grit, which included financial troubles, managed to get an education for themselves, get decent jobs for themselves, and give me and my brother the upbringing that they did. Okay, you're aware of what kind of upbringing I had. At least the academic upbringing, By hearing me out, you also get some sense of what kind of influences I've had. So the other thing which I saw is that not only because they're my parents, but I saw that they were different from other people's parents. So I live in South Bombay, which is a very affluent society, and everybody in South Bombay is, so to say, rich. My parents weren't rich. But my dad became a chartered accountant. My mother studied library science, and she, did well for herself. And they gave us the upbringing that they did. So I think that is very, very credible that against all odds, they came to stay in South Bombay, where everybody was a business person and a rich person. So that served as a great, great influencer on me, and it impacted my life a lot. So much so that even when I started doing well and my brother started doing well in life, we would still consult my parents because the wisdom of the ages they had, and that was very, very useful to us. So that's the second source of inspiration. The third source of inspiration is, I think, the middle class housewife in Bombay who stays 50, 60, 70 kilometers away from her workplace and travels every day those 70 kilometers to her job because she needs the money. She goes home in the evening. She's sitting on the train and cutting vegetables because she has no time at home. So while traveling in an extremely crowded train. So I don't know if you guys, has anybody come to Bombay before? Any of you? None of you have come to Bombay. In a train in Bombay, where the capacity is about 1,200 people, you'll have 3,500 people fitted in. It's that packed, the train. And over there, the lady is sitting on her chair, on her seat, and she's cutting vegetables to prepare for the evening meal. Then she gets down from the train by pushing and fighting with people. She gets down and then she buys vegetables from the from near the station, okay, where the vegetable guys are sitting. Then she will fight to get into the bus and travel 15-20 minutes to reach her home. By then, her children are already crying because they didn't get attention, they didn't get food, the mother-in-law didn't take care, blah blah blah. And she's taking care of the kids. She's very quickly doing their lessons. While she's taking their lessons, she has started the cooking. Okay, she's got her mother-in-law taunting her over there. Okay, her husband is still not come home. Okay, then after half an hour, about 8:39, her husband comes home. He's also had a bad day at work. So he needs obviously food immediately. So she serves the food. Then after everybody has eaten, she'll do the dishes. Man, this is hard labor. This is like a concentration camp. So the middle class housewife living in the suburbs in Bombay is a hero. More than Shah Rukh Khan and anybody else you would have. She is a hero. She will again wake up next day at 4 and 5 in the morning. She will cook the meals, her lunch. She'll pack the dabba for her husband. And she has to catch the 6:30, 7 o'clock train. Otherwise, she won't make it to office by 10. Just see the circumstances in which she is surviving and struggling. She, in my eyes, is a real, and I think she has a position up there with Gandhiji. Okay, I think that's the kind of merit I will give her and credit I will give her. And she is such a source of strength for all of us that if we were able to do even half of what she is attempting to do, I think we would all be great professionals and individuals. So, these are really my source of inspiration.
Where is work-life balance here, isn't it, sir?
Sorry?
We are really talking about work-life balance. Where is the work-life balance here? She only makes the life of others in the family.
Exactly.
Sacrifice the whole thing for others in the family.
Correct.
That is life, basically.
Yes.
That's her satisfaction.
Yes.
Next question, please.
Greetings, sir. This is Kirtika. Can you please share how your strategies are aligned with your corporate plans, sir?
Understand that question properly.
How do you take your strategy into the, from top level to the bottom, to everybody, to align and get the results out?
How do you, okay, your strategy. So, strategy, Kirtika, is not an isolated thing which you thought up in your head. A strategy has come based on circumstances, situations, your need, your ability, and all of that. If I'm in Coimbatore, I will behave differently than I'm in Bombay, right? Because the circumstances are different, the ground realities are different. So a strategy cannot be something which you have just thought of your head and came in your mind. It has to factor in all of this. So when you give a lot of importance to ground realities, you will realize that the strategy is coming from the ground. It's coming from there. You will use your ability to fine-tune the strategy. So for instance, if I can take an example, if you are making a marketing plan for this, okay, I am selling soap and I need to make a marketing plan for Tamil Nadu. So if I'm not sitting in Coimbatore, if I'm not sitting in Chennai or in Tanjore, how will I make the strategy? If I'm sitting in Bombay, Hindustan Lever headquarters are in Bombay. You think the Bombay guy can make a strategy? No, he can't. He has to come there and figure out that this soap, if it's costing 15 rupees or 25 rupees, how many people are going to buy it? What is the target audience? So all of that will be different for Tamil Nadu than for Maharashtra or wherever else. So the strategy has to be realistic. You can't be sitting in your ivory tower in the corporate head office and making a strategy. You have to get feedback from the ground. And the feedback from the ground, let me tell you, the best place to get feedback is from two people. One is the salesman and second is the customer. Okay? It's not the chairman, it's not the watchman, it's the salesman and the customer. So the customer doesn't give a damn for you. She'll tell you the truth. Sure, this is Bakwas product. I kept it for 2 days and it got spoiled. Whatever it is, she will tell you. The salesman also will tell you the truth and he knows what's happening because he has to face it, right? He has to face the consumer, he has to face the dealer, he has to face the distributor. So the corporate strategy has to be made in such a way that you take inputs from all these people and then then apply your intelligence, apply your experience, apply your mind. My gut feel says that this should be priced at 35 rupees. Sorry, your gut feel has no place over here. You have to go by data. The data will include, primary consumer research, which will tell you what the consumer can afford, what your competitors are doing, and all of that. So I would say that strategy should be at least 70 to 80% based on hard facts that you pick up from the ground and data that you analyze, and maybe 20-30% can be your gut feel. Okay. So for people like you who not had experience really on the job, gut feel may be very difficult to come by. So again, then you have to share with other people's experience, right? Your seniors, your competitors. And again, like I said, if you're selling soap and you go and sit in that banya ki dukan, that not that mall, but the banya ki dukan, you went and sat in that grocer's shop and figured out what was going on in 1 hour, your strategy will fall in place. This works and this doesn't work. So remember, your strategy cannot be some isolated place, ivory tower. It has to be rooted on the ground. It has to be practical. It has to be enforceable and implementable. Not as even not enforceable, because you can't enforce it. If it doesn't work, then you're the loser, right? Your strategy failed. So make sure that you have a buy-in from all stakeholders. So in your case, in this example of selling soap, the stakeholder will start from the customer, the salesman who sells to the dealer distributor, the supply chain, the packaging people. If they don't package it well and the packaging opens out even before the customer bought it, then you had it. So you'll have to break up the supply chain into small components and make sure that you address each component, each part of that component, so that then finally it makes one smooth sailing, one smooth chain, which then is implementable. Also, your strategy has to have some amount of redundancy. Okay, that I have some amount of backup, I have some amount of plan B. If this fails, I'll do this. If this fails, I'll do this. Your strategy also has to have a time frame. That I will run this for a month. Okay, if it doesn't work, then after a month, either I'll go to plan B or I'll drop it altogether. So I think all of this is very, very important while building a strategy. So, if you realize all what I'm saying is practical stuff on the ground. It's no, reading Harvard Business Review and reading some fancy book and coming up with a strategy. They did that in Poland, so we'll do that in India. Not happening. Doesn't work that way. Okay, because Poland is different, India is different. So I would say that strategy is a mix of all of this. And then to all of this, if you apply the, tadka that you have brought to the table, your own flavor, your own understanding, then hopefully it will be an intelligent and workable strategy. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
This
next.
is Bala, business leader. What is your opinion on business ethics?
Business ethics.
Yes, sir.
Before 1991, where we were living in the license Raj, okay, that time manipulating, cheating was okay. Okay, in those days, if you cheated the government, it wasn't even considered to be unethical. Believe me, if you cheated the government, didn't pay the tax, didn't pay the excise duty, it was not even considered chori. It was all right. Okay, everybody does it. Government is charging so much of tax. Why should we do it? And that was the only way to make money before 1991. When Manmohan Singh came as finance minister, he changed all that. And he gave all of us an opportunity to make money the right way. If you are able to make money the right way, why would you not do it ethically? Why would you want to do things which are morally and ethically incorrect when you can do it the right way? It's much easier, right, to do it the right way. You don't want the burden of moral burden, governmental burden, compliance burden on your head. So I think, and this I'm talking about 1991, all this stuff. Today we're in 23. So years ago, we started having the opportunity to do things the right way. I think today business ethics is mandatory. Don't even think of not following it, for the simple reason that kids like you, students like you, who are studying in such a good business school, you have such a bright future ahead of you. You are going to be the torch bearers of the generation. You have the opportunity to do things the right way. you will make money the right way, you get name and fame the right way, you will be useful, and you'll build communities the right way. All of it is possible today. See the startups. The startups are not doing anything wrong. They're paying their taxes, they're paying their customers, they're paying their financiers, they're doing all that. So when you have an opportunity of doing things the right way and being successful, why should you do it the wrong? First point. Second point is wrong, guys. No matter what flavor you give it, wrong is wrong. And it will not change with time. Right and wrong, moral ethics, integrity, honesty, these are universal truths. They were there in the times of Mahavir and in Ramayana, and they are there today also. They have not changed. I would strongly advise stick to the path of the truth, even though it may be a little difficult, because in the long run, it's another good investment you will make. So don't ever compromise on business ethics, though it will be very tempting. And I can tell you with experience that all those who have become successful using the wrong way are paying the price. Everybody believes in the theory of karma. Everybody here believes in the theory of karma. As you sow, so you reap, right? So whatever you invest, you are going to get that return. You invest in wrong things are going to come back to you. So even from spiritual point of view, you had it if you're doing things the wrong way. But from business point of view, also I'm saying stick to ethics. It is more profitable, as experience tells me, than doing it the wrong way. See, today I have never taken money from anybody to get them a job, nor have I attempted to bribe any HR manager, nor have I tried to influence any HR manager or anything like that. So how is it paid me? Maybe I lost a few placements. Yeah, a few billings didn't happen because of that. But look at the credibility I have built. You know, people will swear by me that they'll say that Mr. Doshi has said this. And that's like the gospel truth. That is more valuable than any damn bill that I raised, right? So business ethics is very, very profitable. And any leader will tell you this, that if you stick to the truth, you will succeed no matter what. So I would say don't even look at anything else but being ethical.
Hello, sir. What are you most passionate about, sir?
What am I passionate about?
Yes, sir.
So, I will choose to answer that question slightly differently, Lograjan, if you permit me. Because, we always hear about people talking about being passionate. So they say if you're passionate about something, then you don't have to work for a single day in your life because your passion will carry you through. But how do you get that passion? I just can't say I'm passionate about candle making. It's got to come from within. And you may not have discovered yourself at your age. You may still not know yourself very well. After so many years in business and in life, I still don't know myself very well. And I'm rediscovering myself. New things I'm discovering. So you may not have the luxury of knowing yourself well. Okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I don't want. So you need to try and fail. If you fail, you do stuff and you fail, you'll realize what you want to do, what you don't want. So you may fail at, let's say, you tried the legal profession, for instance. Okay, you got into intellectual property and you failed. Okay, you now know at least that this is what I'm not good at or I don't like. So when you talk about being passion, that passion is not unfiltered, unadulterated, unconnected passion. I can't say I'm passionate. So I am okay. To answer your question, I'm passionate about the movies. I wanted to be, when we were kids, I wanted to be like Amitabh Bachchan. But did I put in the hard work? Did I join a acting course? Did I, go to the gym and build my body? Did I do voice modulation? Did I try and look good and look like him or look like Tom Cruise? I didn't do any of that. That's not passion. So passion is what Amitabh Bachchan did, right? He was selling tea in Calcutta and he was passionate about the movies. He came on, slept on a bench on Marine Drive in Bombay. Okay, he did the rounds, he built his portfolio, he did the rounds, he begged all the producers and all the movie studios. And after 4 or 5 years, he got a job in the movies, right? And then of course he put in a lot of hard work and stuff. And of course he's a talented guy. That is passion. I can't be sitting on my chair and saying, "Hey man, I'm very passionate about the movies, yeah. Why doesn't Yash Raj Films give me a job?" They're not going to give you a job. So to answer your question about what I'm passionate about is I'm passionate about things where I think I can make a difference. I am passionate about the movies, but that's lip passion. It's like lip sympathy. Naam ke vaste. I don't really mean it. Okay, I'm not really passionate. But I'm very passionate about what I'm doing right now, education. I'm talking to you guys. This is an exercise in education. I'm sharing my experiences with you because my experiences are of zero value if I don't share them. And if my experiences go to the grave with me without disseminating it, without sharing it, it's zero value. My life would be a big zero. So I'm very passionate about sharing education, sharing good thoughts and knowledge with people in the hope that it benefits them in some way or the other. Okay. To this end, I'm doing stuff like this. Okay. When you guys got in touch with me, I said yes. Because I'm passionate about it. I will work towards it. I will make sure that whatever I share with you, some of it is at least useful. And so passion is a accumulation of all this. It's a accumulation of knowledge, experience, desire, and all of that. So I'm passionate about a lot of things, but I'm very passionate about this wanting to teach people hope, because I feel that the only way India can save itself is through education. Okay, you, me, all of us, Dr. Sundar, we don't carry a Birla or an Ambani surname. You have no inherited wealth coming your way. Only your hard work and education is going to get you through this. So it has to be education, I think, which will save the nation and take it to the next level. And I'm very, very passionate about educating. I like Rasgulla a lot. So I'm very passionate about eating Rasgulla. So, but that's of no use actually. Yeah, it's just me and the Rasgulla which I consume. So yeah, but since you asked me about passion, I told you.
Thank you, sir. Can you tell me about a challenging situation that you have faced as a CEO and how did you overcome it?
Challenging situation. So, honestly, every day is a challenge because no days are the same. And though a lot of the situations that we are in are a lot of the situations that we are in are repetitive, but somehow the circumstances are different. One very challenging situation I faced is that we had placed a very senior professional, a CXO, in one company. Okay, and within a month and a half of his joining, okay, they realized that he was not fitting the bill. Now, when you're hiring a CXO, you go through, it was a 5-6 month long interview process. The owner of the company, the chairman also interviewed the person, starting from HR, line manager, strategy head, head of HR, 6-7 interviews, a visit to the factory, a visit here, a visit there, all this. And after 1.5 months, they realized that they made the wrong choice. So naturally, they blame the consultant. They'll never admit, no? Nobody admit their own mistake, right? That you are the one who spent 5-6 months with him. You called him to your place. You did this, you did that. I just introduced you and I did my basic assessment, right? So they will never admit. So they cleanly and squarely blamed me, okay, and my firm. So the consultant came to me, my consultant came to me, he said, chairman wants to meet. I knew what it was. So I went and met the chairman. And he was very angry because he was very angry more because his decision was wrong rather than the time that he lost. Okay, time and money he lost, that's okay. But in business, time is most important. It's more important than money, right? Because the opportunity gone is gone forever. But they were unhappy with that. I mean, he was unhappy that they lost 6-7 months, but more that his ego was hurt. So I heard him out very well. So first rule of any problem solving is listen, and listen. No matter what you want to say, keep your mouth shut and listen. Let them say what they have to say. Maybe you will find a solution in what they are saying. maybe the problem itself is carrying the solution. So I went him out. 10 minutes, you're very angry. You just raved and ranted and this and that and the other. Okay. The HR person told me that now that you've got a meeting with the chairman, I think you're going to lose our account. It's a good account for me. Very important client. I could not afford to lose it. Okay. So the HR person told me that the chairman has called you, means you're in trouble and you're going to lose the account. Okay. So I went with that background in my mind. I need to save my business, right? So I heard him out very, very politely. And then after all his anger came out, I told him that, sir, you are right, that this person is not suitable because of what he has done after joining you guys. And I think it was an error of judgment on my part. Okay. So I admitted my mistake straight away. I said, I failed as your consultant. It was my duty to make sure that, I sent you a good candidate, but it was an error of judgment on my part. And I really apologize for it. However, I have a plan B and I have another candidate who I will send you today. And hopefully we will limit the time damage. Okay. That all, see, that much you have to do. You have to prepare yourself. You can't go into a problem situation and not be prepared, right? Gaadi ne uda diya. Now I'm dead. That's not happening, right? You have to have a plan B, right? If the car didn't come, then take a scooter. The scooter didn't come, take a cycle. Something has to be there. So I had a plan B. So I told him that, but I have a mistake. So he said, no, it's not your fault. See, I admitted my mistake. See how reverse psychology works. I admitted my mistake. And I said it was only my mistake. So it was my fault. I'm very sorry, sir. So he said, no, it's not only your fault. Arey, my HR people are also stupid. And he started all his own internal problems. He started talking about. Arey, my marketing guy didn't do this. My finance people didn't do this. The bank is saying this. All his company's problems he started telling me. So I had won him over by being honest and by admitting the mistake and by being humble about it, right? You can't act tough with your client, right? So by being humble about it, sorry, sir, with my head down, board down in respect, I told him that I'm sorry, but it was my fault. I won him over, and forget me losing the account. He said, now you will deal only with me. And I'm telling you, within 1 week, we did that placement. That placement that we did, which we were supposed to do, we did it in 1 week. So it was a very, very bad and nasty situation. And our reputation was at stake. Forget the money. We don't care for that money. Money will come. But our reputation was at stake. And we managed to pull out of it only because I was very clear in my mind that I'm at fault. I'm going to listen. I'm going to admit my mistake. I'm going to say sorry. And I'm going to support them in whichever way it takes. So, this maybe can be applicable to all situations where if you're humble about it, so automatically your brain cells will start thinking. But if you're arrogant about it and you're in fighting mode, then it's not going to work. Your mind is not going to be receptive. So I think that's a very good way of handling major problems.
But it's not easy to get this kind of nature of people. They don't simply admit on their mistakes. That's a common practice we could come across. The self-defenders are a lot, especially in Asia. Yeah, maybe you would have come across all those.
Oh yes. So Dr. Sundar, you're right that people don't admit. The problem in this is ego. If you leave your ego, if you're smart enough to leave your ego aside, okay, I'm telling you, you will win.
Yeah,
you will win. Because your ego is only a momentary pleasure. After you eat a rasgulla, it's over, it's gone. If you shed your ego aside, you will win for sure.
For a minute pleasure, we can't afford to lose so big things.
Yes.
So that is what's so important to the takeaway from this question. Correct. Next, do you mind to have one more question, sir? Or is
yes,
time's up?
Yeah.
Please, last question. It's time's up.
So one final question, sir. So what are the lessons you want to give the young budding manager like us?
Okay, so I think your topic was journey to the C-suite. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So my I don't know advice or not, but my suggestion to you people would be, okay, that the journey consists of many steps, right? If you're coming from Coimbatore to Bombay, you will plan, right? You will figure out when you want to go, how you want to go. Then if you're coming by flight, you will have to book the tickets at the right time, affordable. You'll try and book it in advance. Don't book one day before. You book 1 month in advance, so you get affordable tickets. In Bombay, where will you land? Who will you talk to? What will you do? Every journey, including the one to the C-suite, has to have a plan. I think the first component of any plan is knowledge. You better be the most knowledgeable person in the business. If you ever, as a manager, tell me I don't know, then I don't know you, will be my reply. Okay. No manager can ever say I don't know. And today, knowledge is available. Whatever Bill Gates knows, you also know. Whatever he has access to, you also have access to. So knowledge is not an excuse. You cannot say that you don't know. The only reason why you don't know is because you didn't attempt to learn. Your problem. Not because he didn't give me and she didn't give me, and all that crap doesn't work anymore. You have to build the knowledge base so you're the best in the business. Okay. Not only the knowledge of your subject, but maybe even things around it. Okay. I can give you enough examples in life where where I have succeeded because I had knowledge about other things. Okay. So knowledge. Let me tell you one thing. So now that we're talking about it, have you guys heard of Hiranandani Builders in Bombay? So there's a large real estate developer called Hiranandani, and there's a place called Powai in Bombay. Okay, the entire Powai, which is built like New York, okay, has been built by him. One day the HR guy told me that Darshan Hiranandani wants to meet you. Okay, so I got a little worried. I mean, chairman wants to meet you, so I got a little worried. I said, what does he want to meet you about? He said, I have no clue. But he's saying that the consultant who's handling this recruitment, I want to meet him. Now, who's going to miss a chance to meet Darshan Hiranandani, right? He's worth some 20, 30,000 crore rupees. So I went to meet him. When I entered his office, such a simple and warm guy. He came out from behind his desk. Welcome, Mr. Doshi. Thank you for coming. Please sit down. Be made me comfortable. And I was so totally prepared. Okay. Now, meeting a man of his level, I knew everything, my business, my inside out, everything I had learned. Okay. He had asked me any random question about what I had done 20 years back also, I'll be able to tell. And I was totally prepared. With my laptop ready, everything was fine. He just started talking something, and then something happened, and he said that, you know, the Japanese yen has gone up today. How can we do business with Japan? And the discussion started talking about the Japanese yen and the Jap economy. And he talked to me for 30 minutes on the Jap economy. And it was a conversation, it was not a monologue. So he expected me to reply. Okay, and luck would have it, because my brother is in the stock market, luck would have it that just a week, 10 days ago, I had discussed with my brother the Jap economy. Just see, you know, how Providence helps. And I was able to have this 30-minute conversation with him on the Japanese economy. And we were talking and stuff, and then there was a gap in the conversation. And he says, okay, Mr. Doshi, thank you very much. Bye. So I just got up and I went out. And I'm telling the head of HR, I said, boss, what is this? What is I mean, I didn't understand. A man of his level calling me and talking to me. So this guy told me, the CHRO told me, he said, you know, he will not discuss recruitment with you. You are the champion. You are anyway a master, right? He knows that you're a master and he is not. He don't want to discuss the recruitment business with you. He wants to see whether you know anything else or not, and whether I should do business with these people or not. This is what his objective is. So can you imagine that that man is judging me on my knowledge of the Japanese economy and the Japanese yen? What does it have to do with recruitment? But that is the world. Okay, that's the way the world works. So please build your knowledge. That's the first step to the C-suite. Second is hard work. Okay, people may use any words they want, smart work and this work and that work, whatever it is. there is no substitute for hard work. Okay, all of you have got admission in this management school only because of your hard work, right? The marks that you got in the entrance exam, the performance in the GD and the interview, the PI and all of that has come only because of your hard work. So don't let anybody fool you that hard work is not important. It's the only thing that matters after knowledge. Then you have to give a little flavor of smartness. Don't work hard like a donkey. Even a donkey works hard, but you don't want to be lifting luggage. Okay, you want to work smart. So add a little bit of flavor of smartness to that. Now this is a part of your individual being. Okay, this journey will be helped by knowledge, smart work, hard work, and smart work, which what you will do for yourself. Okay, this is left to you, right? I can't help you in working smart, working hard, or building your knowledge. The next component of the journey to the C-suite is perception. Unfortunately, in the world that we live in, perception matters a lot. You can't say I'm Mr. Ambani and then come on a cycle. Okay. If you come on a cycle, that means you're poor. And if you come in a Mercedes, it means you're rich. That is the perception that we have, and that's the way the world works. I think along with your knowledge, your hard work and your smart work, you need to build your perception a little bit. People should have the right image and impression about you, because they will take decisions based on that impression, right? I'm not saying the wrong impression, but you need to build the right perception that yes, Balachandran is knowledgeable. Yes, Manjula Devi is smart. So that perception has to be built. Otherwise, that your knowledge and hard work is not going to go too far. And the fifth and the most important component, I think, is the people connect. You need to build a team of people who you like and trust, and who like and trust you as you go along. And they are your permanent assets, because the journey to the C-suite is a very lonely one. And as you all know, it's lonely at the top. So if you don't have a people connect, and if you're very good in your work, you're going to fall flat. You may not even make it to the C-suite, or you may make it and fall flat and not succeed. So that people connect is very, very important, and you have to genuinely like people. You can't fake it. You can't fake it for 20 years of your life. Okay. So I think these 5 components of knowledge, hard work, smart work, managing perception, and dealing with people will help you in your journey to the top. Thank you.
It's a great session, sir, having you today, and more than an hour you have spent your valuable time with us. I'm personally highly grateful to you, sir, and we will keep in touch. Your support is continuously needed for our B School and our students, for the young budding people, as your passion is to share your knowledge, whatever you have acquired for the, like decades of time towards, you want to give it to the youth. That's really great passion. That is what needed. And having the inspiration from Gandhiji is another kind of personality, It's a versatile man, I would say. We met a lot of people across, and you see, starting from Ahimsa or non-violence to up-to-date learning and keeping yourself up to date with the trend in the industry. It's something unique of you, sir. Thank you so much for this occasion and chance, and the sharing with our students. Have a great day and a great weekend. And once again, our gratitude to you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
I admit it my proud privilege to express the words of gratitude to the gathering. On behalf of Adithya School of Business Management, I offer my heartfelt thanks to all of you. I would like to thank our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Rupen-Doshi, for his valuable presence and for an enlightened session. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our Chairman, Engineer C. Sugmaran, sir, for his constant support and guidance in his absence. And I thank our Managing Trustee, Mr. Praveen Kumar, sir, in his absence. I extend my gratitude to our dear Professor, Dr. N. Sundrapandian, sir, Director and Head of Adithya School of Business Management, for organizing this event. Thank you, sir. Once again, I am very gratitude to you all for your valuable presence. Thank you.
So much, sir, once again, and thanks all, and have a great day again. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.